Wow, it's been a minute. About 21 days to be exact. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry if my throat feels you guys can't feel it. Sorry if my throat sounds a little blech. I am battling the seasonal sickness that everyone is getting in Indiana because it's finally warm. It's very nice. First off, I would like to say hello. I've missed you all. No, I haven't forgot about YouTube, but if you all know me and have been following my channel for a little bit, then you know that I'm getting married at the end of May, and May 27th to be exact. And I knew April and May would look very different as far as balance and routines and all kinds of crazy stuff thrown into the mix. My energy has definitely been, energy is teachers in general at the end of the year, because our last student day is May 23rd. Teacher record day is May 24th. Rehearsal dinner is May 25th. I get to breathe that Saturday before my wedding, and then I get married on Sunday, May 27th. So, and today, like when I'm filming this now, is April 30th. So you can tell, I mean, if you've been a teacher, you know the end of the year is very stressful anyways, and your energy, there's not as much energy there, and so productivity can be definitely a little bit harder. I've really been trying to take care of myself and my body and my mind, especially through these crazy times, because the stress is going to come, but I didn't want to add any more stress. So with that being said, this is probably the first video in 3 weeks or so, I guess. Probably, yes, the first video in 3 weeks. And no, I haven't dropped YouTube. I love YouTube. I'm going to be doing it for the rest of my life. As far as I know, I've actually set up another channel. I totally love it. It's my super hobby. It gets to be a really busy time of year, I guess, and I don't want to be talking for any longer than this, but I did want to let you guys know that I'm so sorry that I haven't posted in a really long time. Definitely not like me. Yes, I've been thinking about it every single Wednesday and Saturday. I'm like, it's another day I'm not posting a video. There would come a time where I can sit down and record this video. Let's go ahead and get into the real reason that you are watching this video. But I just wanted to preface it a little bit by saying, yes, I miss you guys. Yes, I love you guys, but I am getting married, and thank you so much for everybody with their amazing love and support. And I still have people commenting on my videos and liking my videos and watching my videos, even though I'm not posting all the time or twice a week like I have. It's been hard. It's been hard. But once I get back from Barbados, we're going to Barbados for our honeymoon. Once we get back, it'll be regular schedule. We are going to be thinking of some summer ideas that you would like for me to do. I'll start posting those on any of my videos, but I will just, this summer will be so much fun because I can just take the whole summer and just make a ton of YouTube videos and day in the lives and back to school videos and all kinds of stuff. I'll be so excited to get back into my regular routine on YouTube. Anyways, now that I've been talking for 5 minutes, I'm really sorry about that. This tonight, and it might not be the best edit, but I'm gonna get it out to you guys because I've been promising this video for a while, so haha. Okay, so subs. I wanted to talk to you guys about subs because, man, have I had some subs this month. I went to, we went to Florida in between, which is, if you actually clicked on this vlog, I'm actually going to be showing kind of clips of our Florida wedding, not our Florida wedding, Greg's older sister's Florida wedding. It was in Fort Lauderdale. It was on a canal. It was beautiful, and it was a little house wedding. So I'll be showing clips throughout this vlog. So it's not a typical travel vlog. So this whole video is going to be about subs and the 3 things that I do to prep for a sub, or not really just prep, but like, things that I make sure to do when I'm having a sub, and kind of a mindset that you need to have, because I really think, having subs are very important. It's very important to be able to take time off, or when you don't know that you're going to take time off and it's going to be an emergency, whether you have kids or you get sick or, you know, all of those things. We're going to be talking about all of that and how important it is to keep your subs happy and to make sure that you are prepared to have a sub. So I'm just going to be sharing some 3 tips on things that I keep in mind when I'm prepping for a sub. I have made like 5 days of sub plans, I swear. Yes, I have. I have made 5 days of sub plans in the month of April, and I have done all of these 3 things when I'm making these 5 days of sub plans. So first thing, please, if you ignore all of this throughout the entire video, especially if you're a first-year teacher, you're gonna be a teacher, or maybe, you know, you've been a teacher but you haven't used this tip. The first thing is to have an emergency sub bucket. Guys, have a sub bucket. Now, when I say emergency sub bucket, what's in that bucket? Not just emergency sub plans, but what is in that bucket? Well, that bucket is literally going to be if you, for any reason, just cannot go into work at all, but it's like immediate, like you have 0 time to write sub plans, that sub will survive the entire day living off of what is in your tub. And they don't have to scramble around your room to try and find things, or your coworkers don't have to scramble around the room to try and find things, because let's be honest, especially this time of year, you don't want to put your coworker on, you know, scrambling to try and find things or making copies or whatever, because we all know that our sub plans are a little bit different, kind of more worksheet based because it's easier that way. Unless you have a building sub. Man, if you guys have building subs and they like know your routines. We have subs that, it could be anybody that just walks in, not anybody, I shouldn't say that. We have background checks and stuff that go through it, but it could be anybody that's never been in your room before or in the building before, and they just think of, you know, a person that's never ever subbed before in their life. And like, that's the kind of mindset that I have, is if my mother were to walk into my classroom, how can she survive the entire day without me writing anything out? So what I have in my sub tub is and mine is a little extreme because I've actually built mine throughout the year. My coworker does it differently than me. She actually has like 5, how does she have it? She has like a math tub, like she has like 5, okay, so we have it in the same style. So we have tubs, right? Mine is separated by months. So I have math, reading, writing, science, and social studies for each month. So I have tons of plans in this massive tub. My coworker does it a little bit differently. She has hers separated by subjects. So she has, you know, math plans, reading plans, science plans, writing plans. So she has a ton of plans separated into different subjects. So if they were to come into the room and they needed to know what to do during math, they can reach in the math tab. Me, on the other hand, my brain likes to work in like blocks. Like I told you guys, like my brain works in blocks, like scheduled blocks. And so I like to have like an October plan. And then if you don't have to have it monthly, but I like to have it monthly because then I can theme it, and you know, it's not like redundant stuff. Do you know what I mean? And these are kind of worksheet based. It's just the easiest thing for subs to do. It's, you know, it's a good, easy thing to read and then do, or little activities, or things where they just need to grab like one manipulative, which should be super accessible, like right behind your teacher desk, and or something that the kids know, like if I write please use Legos on this, or please use spinners, I wouldn't write something that needed to be in my closet, if that makes sense, for an emergency sub plan. If you're planning it, you can pull those things out and get it ready, but for emergencies, you want to have those things laid out, so you know, like, okay, I know that my little buddy Johnny Jr. knows where the Legos are. Like, they'll be able to help this sub. Oh, you know, we need Legos for that? I know where those are. So making things just super, 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 super easy. I put our Bulldog tickets, which is our PBIS. We do PBIS at our school, which is a positive behavior plan for like school-wide. And we use like just little tickets if they do something good. I don't use them as often. We can go into that a whole other time on how I do my classroom management. I had a lot of people ask about classroom management, by the way, so if you want a video about classroom management, let me know, like an updated, do I still do the classroom management secret, all that stuff down below. Okay, sorry, tangent. Blog tickets, I like load the sub up because that sub needs as much motivation to get these kids to listen to them as possible. So all of that in the tub. So they don't have to like look around like, oh, you know, where's this teacher's whistle, or where's, you know, I just throw everything in the tub. So they just literally just have everything, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, guys? Like, I know that you're like, well, it's just common sense. Like, my Bulldog tickets are right here on my desk or right here behind my desk. Just put everything in the tub. Just make it to where they can literally take the tub and they can go throughout the day and they don't have to ask questions to anybody. They will survive, and make tons and tons and tons of activities for them to do, and write a schedule. Like, I don't type out, guys, I don't type out lesson plans for my emergency sub plans. We'll get to what I do later on, but for my emergency sub tub, I just have activities and worksheets and like Scholastic magazines, and I throw some read alouds in there that I never use, so, or that are still good, like Miss Nelson is missing or Miss Nelson is back. Like, those are really cute sub day books, so I'll throw those in there. And I always have my read alouds, you know, left accessible to where they can easily see it. So, but have an idea, like we do math from 9 to blah, 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 or we do reading from this to this. So they at least know the time zones. But I don't know about you, but our principal's not going to walk in and check on subs and make sure they're doing writing from 11 to 11:15. So if you just have like the basic blockages left out, then your sub will be fine, and they really will be. And like I said, I don't do this for, I think I've probably done this one time where I've never written sub plans. I've just like prayed that the emergency sub tub was good and it was ready to go, and it was, and the world moved on. The kids were fine. It was great. The first tip was like the longest tip, but the first tip is to have that emergency sub tub, or, you know, just throw things in a tub. It doesn't even have to be organized. Just throw things that the substitute teacher needs to survive that day. Stickers, if you're allowed to do candy, like throw the candy in there, even though that I do not like a whole lot of extrinsic motivation. Like, just help a sub out. You know what I mean? Help a sub out. List some resources that I've used to make my sub tub, but really I just print off a ton of stuff. Like, if it's for May, then I'll do like, you know, May flower stuff. Moving on to my tip number 2. It kind of goes along with tip number 1 with get an emergency sub tub, but tip number 2 is have a basic layout of your schedule and your time in like a Google Doc. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be cute. I do a Google Docs because I can access it on my phone. And this is your kind of layout of, if you were to be sick, then you don't have to click open a new document and write out your whole day, because that takes so much time, especially if you're calling in at like 6:30 and you've got an hour and 10 minutes to write up sub plans. You want to be able to plug in easy stuff. So on mine, I plug in, we do stations from this to this. This kid knows where, you know, the chart is, or I plug in like, you know, make sure that so-and-so goes to the nurse after lunch, and different stuff like that. I already have those all in. And so then I'll be able to just like copy, you know, cut and paste, blah, blah, blah from my original sub plans. And I've got not emergency, but I've got sub plans ready in like 25 minutes. It was an emergency. I have called in at like, you know, 7 o'clock, which gives me an hour and 15 minutes to make sub plans. That to me is not an emergency sub plan situation. If I've got 10 minutes, oh gosh, guys, my battery's dying. So, okay, I've got it plugged in. Hopefully it doesn't die on me. If I've got an hour, even if I am puking in the toilet, I can set aside 10 minutes to at least give my best like knowledge base of what I need the kids to do that day. But that's, it's so hard because everybody has their own like way of dealing with things. And if, you know, I know some teachers that if their head is in the toilet, they're like, the kids will survive off of no plans. If they have an emergency sub tub, then that could be good for them. But for me, I really like to send plans as best as you can. And I know that that's really hard sometimes because, you know, if your head is in the toilet and you're puking or you got the flu or something, that it can be hard. But that's why having it on your phone, on Google Docs, you can just go through and you can quickly like, you know, change as best as you can, because our schedules change on Wednesdays. So if it's a Wednesday and not a Tuesday, like, I don't know that I have the best like possible plan, I guess, in my emergency sub tub. Do you know what I mean? Like, things change. People come in and out of the room, and I like subs to know those things. I like for them to know that, you know, heads up, somebody's going to be walking in. Ask them if they need any help. That's what they're there for. And that changes for us on the daily. So, for me, I like to give, and especially if there's like an assembly or anything. That's just me. If you're more pretty much the same schedule every single day, it might be easier for you. But for me, I definitely like to send a day of schedule as rough as I can get it. At least send it to my coworker to have her print it out and give it to the sub. So tip number 2 is to have, you know, try your best to have, you know, sub plans on your phone. So, you know, worst case scenario, you're at the doctor's office, you can type up something super quick, send it to your sub. It sucks that we have to do that. You know, it is what it is. And I'll let you know why it is what it is. Tip number 3. So tip number 3, this is why, like, the first 2 are actual tips, but the tip number 3 is really just something that I try and do whenever I'm going to be out, or kind of the mindset that I have. So that's why I told you guys, like, it was weird, because they're not really tips. Like, the first 2 are tips, and the third one is more of like a mindset. And that is, you know, you might not think it's important, but keeping your subs happy is so vital to me. It's so vital to me. Some schools do not have a building sub. We are not funded enough to have a building sub. So we have we have plenty of subs, but, you know, there are times where, you know, you hear from subs that they will never go into that room again, or and it could vary by year and by, you know, kids and classes and stuff like that, but you cannot control your kids when you are gone, but you can control everything else. So you can control the lesson plans, or, you know, getting things ready. You can control how the day is going to go based off of motivation for the kids to listen, letting the sub know things like, you know, what the kids will get if they get a good report. Like, I let my subs know all of that just so they can use it, and they can, you know, use the same, like, verbiage. Even if I'm saying, you know, we do literacy choices. I say literacy choices, guys, it's ready for literacy choice time. The kids know to go choose a daily 5 activity. We don't do, you know, hardcore daily 5, but we kind of mix it. But they know to go get something. But what if the sub said reading centers or something like that? That would make my whole class, like, they would die laughing and try and correct the sub and blah, blah, blah. Like, she would totally lose them at that point. So little things like that, like putting in the verbiage of say literacy centers, or say this in quotations, you know, say this, or play come to the carpet song, or play cleanup song, you know, trying to make their life easier is my priority when I'm going to be gone. And yes, it's easier when you know you're going to be gone, but that's why 2 and 3 kind of went together, because if it's really, you know, if you're sick, your head's in the toilet, what can you say in that document that you're going to send to them that will make their life be so much easier? Because it's hard, and especially for first graders. It may be easier for, you know, middle school, high school, because people can just sub in and the kids are a lot more self-sufficient. But for first graders, some of them take that day as an advantage, and they do things that they really try so hard to say, you know, yeah, Miss Lacer lets us have candy while we do centers every day. Yeah, that literally happened when I was in Florida. So everything that you can to make those subs, you know, and I even tell the kids, I'm like, your life goal when I am not here is that sub to say, this was the best class. And if she doesn't say it's the best, he or she doesn't say it's the best class, you want them to be able to come back. If there are subs coming back into our classroom, then you know that you left a good lasting impression on them, and they enjoyed coming in and taking care of you. They enjoyed coming in and teaching you things that I couldn't for a day. I like to think the same way. What can I do to make that sub's day easier? You know, is it a short email the morning of saying, thank you so much for picking up my position? Or after, you know, the day was ended, I can email, or, you know, write a note, write a letter, whatever, telling that, you know, I hope you had a great day. You know, This time of year, I would kind of say like the kids are going to be really talkative. They're really tired. Definitely utilize this or this or this. Like try and tailor to that sub, especially if you've never had this sub before in your life. The goal and the kids' goal is to have that sub come back into the classroom and want to be in there, because subbing is really hard. I subbed for 2 or 3 years before I became a teacher as like a side job. And I don't know how people do it part or full time, because it's stressful. It's stressful. You know, you have to go in and you have to kind of like immediately try and figure out routines. And if you don't, then the kids can eat you alive. They really can. Like it can be life or death situation sometimes with subs. And I really do appreciate subs. I appreciate what they do. Without them, we could not take days off. Like, to be honest with you, we could not be able to take days off. It would be so much harder. You know, at our school, we've gotten to the point where sometimes we don't have subs take our positions. This only happened once with me this year, but I think it was because everybody was getting sick. Like everybody's kids was sick. Everybody's kids were getting sick, so the subs were out for that reason. But normally we don't have too bad of jobs getting subs picking up our stuff. We have like an online database. But if they don't, we have had times where we have to actually split the classrooms, which is fine, but that throws off everybody else's classroom, and it makes you feel bad as the teacher because you feel guilty all day long. You're like, even though you're puking in the toilet, you're like, I could have been there. Anybody else like that? Like, I feel so guilty even if I am puking my brains out. I hate that, because we should be able to take time for ourselves as well. And especially if you have like a personal day, like one personal day a year, as we got to take care of ourselves, bottom line. Kind of recap, number 1 was my first tip: have an emergency sub tub, or a tub that will help the sub survive throughout the day. Oh gosh, hello. Has that been there the whole time? Number 2 is kind of having your lesson plans on your phone or on Google Drive, so you can easily access it from anywhere and just send them something the day of, even if it's super rough. Send them something so you know that will make the subs day so much easier. And tip number 3 is keeping your subs happy so they can come back into your classroom. So doing whatever it is you can to think, you know, like anything to make you stand out as a teacher, because you want them to come back. Yes, it's what they signed up for. Yes, it's their job. Yes, it's what they want to do. They signed up for the position, but subs can pick and choose what classrooms they want to sub in. And if you're out, you want somebody to pick up your room. So keeping that sub happy and letting them know that you really appreciate them is just so important. It's so important. I promise. And if you build those relationships, then you might have a sub for a really, really long time that you can always count on picking up your classroom. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of the Florida, you know, plug-in travel portion of this. I know it was kind of random, but I wanted to show some clips of Florida. And all the sub situation throughout the entire month of April has been great. I've had great subs. The kids have been acting great. Even though they've been chatty, they've been acting great. So I really, fingers crossed, I have a good report tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching this, guys. And thanks again for being so patient with me as I am jumping into a super busy time in my life. And YouTube might be pushed to the back burner. But please know that it really is my heart and soul, like, my pride and joy. I love my YouTube channel. I love connecting with you guys, and I love, you know, answering questions. And I never thought that I would be helpful, but I knew that I had like this passion of finding balance, and I just really wanted to share that with anybody that might need it. Gosh, I've been a little blabbery today. So like this video if you enjoyed me sharing my sub tips, and definitely comment down below if you want me to go into depth with anything else, especially as summer approaches. I'm going to be writing down a list of things, of videos that you guys want me to do. So put those in the comments down below as well. And I will see you hopefully next time. I think I'll have a giveaway, a very short giveaway for my 1K. That'll be coming out Wednesday, I believe, so probably tomorrow, I guess, by the time you guys see this. And I will be choosing a winner on Friday, I believe. Don't forget to subscribe to join the Coffee Tribe. Ooh, Coffee Tribe. I kind of like that better than Coffee Crew. See you guys in the next one. Bye.